what is the first thing you think about when you hear the phrase Silicon Valley? Our agriculture, right? All the oranges and grapes and almonds that we grow here? Of course not. It's technology. Here, we pretty much live in the backyard of Apple headquarters, and several huge companies are also located here, from Apple to Google to Tesla. Nowhere else in the country is the community so heavily impacted by technology. It's how our state has the 5th highest economy in the world. Isn't that mind-boggling? And this technology, which has the capabilities to connect people over thousands of miles, has put us inside somewhat of a bubble. We are distanced from the regions around us as our communities are vastly different. The rise of technology present in Silicon Valley has been able to benefit its residents greatly by increasing our economic growth as well as improving our education systems. But it has also pushed people out of our cities due to high housing costs, as well as introduced a harmful competitive spirit in our schools. But to truly understand what is going on, we must start at the beginning, with the birth of the internet. In 1969, Leonard Kleinrock, a professor at UCLA, along with his student Charlie Klein, devised a way to send a transmission from their computer to one at Stanford's Research Center, thus launching the start of the internet. They revolutionized the meaning of technology as they were able to send information over long distances in a short amount of time. Suddenly, huge corporations from all across the nation started popping up in the Silicon Valley, and a mere 7 years later, Apple had been founded right here in Cupertino, California. As these corporations started moving into the region, they brought in large sums of money into the state in order to fund their projects as well as the construction of their buildings. And this money is vital to the development of Silicon Valley. Almost immediately, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs from all across the nation started moving to the region in order to benefit off of the technological boom of Silicon Valley. Thanks to these companies, our colleges got immense funding for their research and their projects. This money allowed our professors access to resources that we never would have been able to afford. And these resources allowed our students to enhance their learning capabilities. But it doesn't stop there. Even our public schools benefit off of being located right next to these huge corporations. For example, Lawson Middle School pretty much borders Apple headquarters and is now known as an Apple Distinguished School. This title is given to schools that are centers for academic excellence and leadership, as well as use Apple products in order to inspire student creativity and critical thinking. Now, although using iPads in school is a very controversial topic, these devices have been able to enhance the learning of the majority of the students in the school. According to state test scores, about 91% of students are proficient in math, and about 87% are proficient in reading. Now, no matter what your opinions are on the devices themselves, these statistics are astronomical and are way above the national average. It is clear that these devices have been able to enhance the learning of our students by providing resources that we never would have been able to afford. But technology is also able to change the environment in which our students must learn. If you ask any student in Silicon Valley what they are most concerned about, they're probably going to say something school-related. Whether you be getting an A in an AP class, getting the 1600 on the SAT, or being able to juggle 2 sports, a 7-class course load, and ACT classes after school. Crazy, right? Can you imagine taking so many activities and still being expected to sleep 8 hours every night? No wonder our students are so sleep deprived. We joke about this as if it's normal. as if every 16-year-old has to deal with this kind of stress. But at the core of it, we see the real problem: competition. Now, don't get me wrong, competition is not all that bad. It can help you reach your potential and go above and beyond. It can push you out of your boundaries to try new things. But we also have to realize when things go too far and cross a line. An immense amount of competition can lead to students feeling unbalanced in their lives. They feel pressured to succeed in academic competitions as well as gain more knowledge, thus pushing away any other hobbies or interests they may have. They put everything on hold in order to focus on their academic pursuit, thus fostering an unhealthy obsession with perfection. Take Cupertino High School, for example. They have about 12 tech-based clubs and over 20 STEM clubs. Each club has about 5 to 10 officer positions, which is reasonable. But they also have over 30 students applying for these officer positions. That's over 400 students applying because they think that these positions will help them get ahead of the crowd. We'll compete with one another for officer positions, for internships, for summer programs. Who can volunteer at the most events? Who can join the most clubs? Who can take the most AP classes? Essentially, who can do the most without breaking? Now you may ask us, why exactly are we so competitive? Why is the nature of Silicon Valley pushing our students to extreme lengths in order to prove themselves? Maybe it's because our colleges has such small acceptance rates, and you want to be that one person in your high school that gets in. Or maybe we need to compete in order to stay here because our housing costs are so high in the area. Or maybe it's because everyone around us is just as competitive. Silicon Valley is known to be talent-rich, from people coming from across the nation in order to get jobs at the companies located here, and entrepreneurs moving to begin their startups. Due to the circle of wealth we have gained from these companies appearing in Silicon Valley, we've also gained their driven mentality. It is in our nature to be competitive, but sometimes we forget that the people around us aren't always our opponents. They aren't always someone to compete with and compare ourselves to. And this lack of knowledge, coupled with our competitive spirit, can backfire on us without us even knowing. This type of competition can lead to several disorders, from a severe fear of failure to panic attacks, to anxiety disorders, and even depression. With these side effects, we question whether or not this rise of technology present in Silicon Valley was ever truly beneficial. So how do we solve this problem, where technology is able to benefit us by increasing our economic growth and improving our education systems, but also harm us by introducing a harmful competitive spirit in our schools? We have to realize that it is not the technology nor these corporations that are the problem here, but rather it is with our education systems themselves. We want to correlate the tech industry and its effects on our education systems without realizing that it is our education systems that provide for our students and their opportunities. The tech industry has such a big impact on Silicon Valley because it is the one that is providing and educating our students, thus impacting it the most. Technology is not the main reason for the success or the drawbacks of Silicon Valley, but rather a visceral display of the power of a well-funded education. The issue here is that the only reason why our public system, public schools are so well-funded is because of these tech corporations, which isn't the way it should be. We need to ignite the passion for education within ourselves and our government, as it is the moral responsibility of the government to provide our students with the education they deserve, with the opportunities they deserve, and with the life that they deserve. Thank you.